Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the channel of the High Priestess of Hedonism. Today's pursuit of pleasure is via basking in the brilliance of the man with the Midas touch. Whatever he's touched, he's turned into pure gold. He is a Padma Shri. He is a Guinness record holder. He is the recipient of the Best Chef of India National Award conferred upon him by the President of India. He has been voted on Reader's Digest's 100 Most Trusted People of India list. He also ranks 34th on the Forbes list of top 100 Indian celebrities of all time. He is on the board of the Singapore Airlines International Culinary Panel. He has been a judge on MasterChef India for 2 seasons. He has been chosen by United Nations as the Indian ambassador for their Clean Cooking Alliance. His food label, Khana Khazana, was launched at the House of Commons in the United Kingdom. It is not just people like you and me who cook from his recipes. In fact, for my birthday this year, we made a vegetable biryani from his table. But he has also cooked for many dignitaries, including our Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi. He and I have a common thread in Rakesh Sethi of Mirch Masala fame. The story goes back to year 2000. I was heading the communications and PR for the Oberoi in Delhi, and Rakesh was an executive sous chef. One afternoon, he walked into my office very animatedly and said that, he's got an offer and to headline a TV show, and if I could help him. The directors of the show, Rashmi and Sanjay Vermani, were after my, case, wanting to, get Rakesh on the stable of the show. It was a long, arduous task, uphill task to get the permissions from no less than Mr. Vicky Oberoi. Oberoi is very stringent where that goes. Eventually, the permission was granted. It was the first such case for an Oberoi chef to have his own show on television. Then I got busy training him for speech and body language and content and presentation and all that. And I thought I was a star maker for Rakesh. Till the time, the truth was revealed to me that the actual star maker was our very special guest. Because had it not been for him to suggest Rakesh's name to Star TV and to Siddharth Kak, who was the producer of the show, Rakesh would not have been the star that he is today, and I would not have been the star maker. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Indian television's most famous face, Chef Sanjeev Kapoor. Welcome to the show, Sanjeev.
Thank you very much for all the kind words. Thank you very much. And no, you are the star maker. It's just that at that time, Star TV was very keen to have me. And I said, no, I'm already doing a show, and I didn't want to really shift from the channel that I was working with then. And they said, नहीं आप ऐसा कुछ कर लो, सिर्फ अपने हाथ ही दिखा दो, वो भी चल जाएंगे. And I remember, and it was sheer chance that I was in Oberoi, and I was with the Siddharth Kak, and he says कि यार कोई बताओ, कोई ऐसा हो. And not that I had Rakesh's name in my mind. It's just that I saw him, and I knew Rakesh's brother.
I see.
Well, who was also Vijay Sethi. Yes. Right. So he was also a hotelier. Yes. So I know Vijay more than I knew Rakesh. And I saw Rakesh coming in as his chef uniform. And one of the things that they wanted was, they said, no, we want somebody like you, somebody who's tall, Punjabi, with mustache and things like that. And here I see him. I said, isse puch lo, isko le lo. So it was funny.
Oh my God.
And yeah, it worked.
Lucky for Rakesh, really. And the joke at the Oberoi, Sanjeev, was that he is a spitting image of you. there is a bit of resemblance, so we all, and of course, he went around strutting in the, hotel after that. I'm joking, but he was very proud that, you had sort of chosen him and he looked a bit like you and he was in the same profession as you. So it was a wonderful dream run for him, really. So thank you. Thank you for doing that, Sanjeev.
No, thank you.
Absolutely. So naturally, my first question to you is, it can easily be said that you're the father of television cooking. So when did you really start this career and why did you get into it?
So year was 92 when talk about a new TV channel. So till that time we only had Doordarshan, and there was a talk that there's a new TV channel which would work, it's not Doordarshan, it's a private channel, and it'll be a cable and satellite channel. And there was discussion going on, but people didn't know what it meant and anything. But that TV channel had started their work of producing the shows. And so one day I come to the hotel, and I see my colleague, my friend, my batchmate. He was sitting with somebody in the coffee shop, and I was on vacation before that, and the person who was sitting, I also said hello, and he gave his card. I gave my card to him, and that's it. And after about 3-4 hours, I get a call from this person who I had met and who was sitting with my colleague and friend. He says, "Oh, I didn't know that you are the executive chef of the hotel." And
this was the Taj, Sanjeev?
No, this was at the Centaur Hotel, Juhu
Beach. Yes, of course, that's right. The monolith.
And and I said, what do you mean? He says, no. Then he gave the background. He says, no, we want to do a TV show, and we want to feature chefs from different hotels, and we are looking at featuring one chef from each hotel. And obviously we came to your hotel, and we were introduced to this chef, and he said that he was the chef of the hotel. I said, yeah, he is, and he was my batchmate, my colleague, and everything, and it's just we were very close. I said, yeah, he is. And he says, no, but does he report to you? I said, yes, he does, but no, it's fine. It's something. He said, no, we want to feature one chef, and I said, no, it's okay if he's there. And at that time, it didn't even strike me that, okay, what kind of an opportunity, big, small, it really didn't matter to me. And since that colleague had already met him and all of that, I said, fair, fine. And he said, no, you know what? Now you are taking it very nicely. You are very nice about it. We will make an exception, and from this hotel we will take 2 chefs.
Wow!
And we want you also to.
Lovely.
I said, fair enough, good. Because I was not willing to do it. An opportunity that came his way that I would.
Correct.
So that was not.
Yes.
So anyway, so that happened, and both of us were to do that. So, and after that, I would say, couple of weeks of preparation for the episode, one episode that was to be done. The producer director at that time, he realized that I was giving more time, I was asking more questions, I was giving more input than any other chef in the city.
Amazing.
So he said, you know what, it's a new show, it's a new TV channel, I want to do it right, and I want you to be the first chef to start that show.
Lovely.
I said, fine. And it was to be filmed in the hotel, and there was a film star who was asked to be the hostess of the show.
I see.
And I was the chef and we did one full day of shoot and all of that in our kitchen. And at the end of the day, the director, who was producer director, he said, you know what, the actress who's the host of the show, her reaction with food is not uh, is not there. She's not yeah. Whereas your reactions are very good. So what if you be the host and you get other chefs with you?
I see.
So whatever, so whatever, because it's your choice. And then of course the first episode was shot with my colleague who is the chef, Milind, and I was the host and he was the chef, and that's how it started.
Fantastic, lovely. And you have this innate talent, which means, because one of the things that is said about you is of course, you've done hundreds of shows. I was joking with you saying how many thousands, but you have done innumerable. It's your persona, Sanjeev, so pleasant, so affable, so endearing across the screen to the viewer. No wonder you are where you are, and you have, I don't know how many, a zillion followers across age groups. I was looking at the profile, it says from 6 to 80-year-old women, men, Indians, international, set of followers who love to, hear you and watch you on screen. So that's a fantastic sort of, template to set out for people who have followed, but we'll talk about that later. You have been highly successful and a leader in your chosen field, or I should say all your fields, because there's so many hats that you wear and juggle. What is your personal success mantra, Sanjeev? What can you share with us?
I think when you do something, when you start something, you want to do well. Anything you study, you want to do well. You play, you want to do well. I think it's a natural human instinct to do well, and I think in that how much effort you are willing to put. The results are based on that, whether it's studying, whether it is working, whether it's a relationship, no matter what. I think in everything, it's directly proportional to the amount of effort you put in. And if you put in that effort with sincerity, you are bound to do well. I think जितना आप रियाज करोगे उतना अच्छा कर लोगे आप, तो रियाज की बात है.
Very well.
So yeah, so I would say that it's success does not come by chance. It's not. People say आप lucky थे, आपको TV show मिल गया, and I just smile. I don't say anything. So I told you that I started that show.
Correct.
So we recorded 3 episodes. All 3 episodes got rejected.
Oh. And why was that so? Oh my God.
Anything probably that could go wrong. So TV channel was new.
Yes.
I was new. Cameraman was new. Director, producer, everyone was new. Nobody knew what
they were doing.
Yes. And channel then said that, oh, host cannot be a male, has to be a female. It's a cooking show.
Oh.
So I was, yeah.
Right.
So even before the first episode got aired, I was replaced.
Oh,
so there was a woman host, again, somebody else. And I was the common factor in all episodes that were rejected, right? So obviously I was out, and I was back to where I was. I was working. I was in the kitchen. So these are things people don't know, that there is an effort. So of course, producer director, he felt bad that I used to put in a lot of effort.
Absolutely.
And so he since he could not get me on the show, he literally stopped calling me and things like that. And but he always believed that he always used to tell the channel that you're making a mistake. He's the one. He's somebody. I've not met any chef who has it in him that can do this. But anyway, the channel had their own ways. Incidentally, that the person, the producer director, is a very famous director now.
You want to name him?
He is a film director. His name is Hansal Mehta.
Oh.
So his series now, Scam, is doing so well.
Yes, right? That's correct. And his movies as well. The movies that he's done.
Shahid
and Aligarh as well, I think he's made. Yes.
Yes, Aligarh also. Yes,
lovely
Aligarh also.
Movie.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So Hansal always believed that. One day I get a call. It was I think 9:30 in the morning, and he called me. He says, "Oh, I need your help." I said, "Tell me." He says that there's some chef who had to come and film. I said, "They've not just turned up, and last minute they're saying that, oh no, we cannot come." He says, "Now I have put up a full set. The whole team is there. Everything is there. I lose a lot of money if I don't shoot. I made all arrangements. Why don't you come and do something for me?" I said, "But remember that my episodes were rejected. They don't want me." He says, "See, I have lost my money in any case. They have not turned up. But at this time, I don't think I can get anyone who can do it last minute. If there's anyone who can do it, it's you." Said, "Okay, fine." Yeah. I went there. I looked at the ingredients. I thought of a couple of dishes, looking at ingredients that were there, and I filmed. And Hansal slipped that episode in for how he did that and whatever. That episode, when it was aired, people just loved it.
Right.
And those were the days. There were no computers, there were no emails, there was nothing. People used to write letters.
I see.
People used to write letters.
Yes.
So that episode got highest number of letters for any show on that channel.
Amazing.
That for it was not only in relation to what.
Yes.
And there used to be a response team. So response head, the lady who was there, Almas, she's no more now. She said, "What's happening?" There were literally truckloads of letters. That kind
amazing.
He says, "What's happening? Why?" And then they went back and saw that this was the episode, and they called the producer and director, and he said, "See, we have been telling you." So now they had an kind of a validation or an excuse to, and then, as they say, rest is history.
The rest is history. What year was this, Sanjeev? What was the first?
93.
93. Amazing.
1993.
Amazing. Yes. Yeah. So I read, I'm forgetting the person who, but a very famous person said that, keep working on your wares, on your abilities, on your skill set, and be ready. You never know where the chance is going to come from. You said it's not a matter of luck. You were ready on that plank, with the kind of attributes you brought to it. So much that you were the discerning factor when the final selection happened. So I think that's a very important thing. And you rightly said, luck could be a small part of it, but you have to do the rest of it yourself. And then when things follow for you. I would like to ask you, you told me just a few days back when we were communicating that when you were growing up, you had not even heard the term chef. So what planted the seed in you to become a chef and to take to the profession of cooking, really? What led to that?
I think it was sheer chance. So as part of upbringing, we never went to hotels. We didn't have restaurants which had chefs. We would go to halwai ka shop, which would make mithai also, samosa also, masala dosa also. Who's the owner, and he would be doing everything. So you call him owner, halwai or whatever, but never a chef.
And where was this? What part of the country was this?
This was in New Delhi.
Okay.
This was New Delhi, and there was no reason for me to say that, I know who chef is. I think it was not about being a chef. It was about doing something that was different. And at that time, when I finished my 12th standard, the year was 1981, and 1982 was the year when Asian Games in India it was a big deal.
Yes.
1982 was Asian Games, and it was a big deal for India to host them. And thanks to 1982 Asian Games, there were 9 large hotels that were being built.
That's right.
Just in Delhi.
That's right.
And yeah, and we could see them, and everyone. So everyone was talking about hotel management. So everyone had started to talk about that, and I thought that wow, this is different. This is something that is unique. It's I know nothing about. It's fun. So I joined hotel management, and the reason for joining hotel management was that I wanted to do something which was different then, because at that time everyone was either becoming a doctor or an engineer, and I thought that no, I don't want to do what everyone is doing, and let me do something different. So I joined hotel management, and
yes.
After 3 years I had done well. I'd always been good in academics and all, so I did well in hotel management also. And after 3 years, realized that there were you could either be in the front of the house, which could be the front office,
yes.
or you could be in F&B service, or housekeeping, or kitchen. Now, we realized that most people at that time were not comfortable getting into the kitchen.
Yes.
So I thought that wow, this is a good thing.
Yes.
That it's different again. That everyone is going one way. I'll go the other way. And I thought, okay, let me do this. So after 3 years, I said, okay, let me. And of course, in our batch, there were 2 people who were selected in kitchen by Oberoi's. I was one of them. And I went, Oberoi Maidens, I went for the first day to join an induction. And they said that, who was the other person? Austin Pinto, my batchmate. He was the other guy. Yeah, and they said that, oh, you go to flight kitchen. I said, what? You're not going to flight kitchen. I said, I'm not going to flight kitchen.
Yeah.
So Austin said, oh, this is Oberoi's. This was kitchen management training program of Oberoi's, and that was the most sought after, and there were only 2 people who were selected.
Yes.
I said, I'm not going to work in flight kitchen, because flight kitchen at that time was something which was monotonous, boring, and all of that. So I only went for a day to Oberoi's, and then I had been also selected with ITDC, which was the largest hotel chain.
Correct.
Yeah, so I was selected there also. So I joined there and worked in different hotels, different places outside India, all of that. So when I came to Mumbai in 1992, so in 8 years I had become the executive chef, which was pretty good at that time to be in that position. But one thing bothered me at that time was that if I have I was not even 28, I said I have reached my professional peak in a hotel, so to say.
Yes.
Now what? What
True.
next?
True.
Right? So I used to, from home to hotel, I used to see that there was an institute that I used to pass by, and it was in Mumbai. So NMIMS, Narsi Munji Institute of Management Studies.
Right. Yes, heard of that.
Yes. Yeah. So my father had always felt that for my caliber, I had not studied enough. Hotel management was no studies. So, like I had not done MBA and things like that.
True.
So I just went into NMIMS and checked, and I was still working as executive chef. And they said, oh, they had a program which was kind of part time. You could do it as a 3 years course, master's program, but you had to do written exam, you had to do different things, debate, and 6-7 different things. I went through all of that, got selected in a course in Masters in Marketing Management, because I realized that at 28, if you are the executive chef, then you have to start doing things differently, start to do things which would help you professionally.
Absolutely.
And I would say thanks to that thinking, it not only helped me with the TV. So one of the things that people say, how did you do it for TV? Was it your personality? I think actually there's a lot of effort, a lot of thinking that went into it, a lot of thought that, since it was a course in marketing, so difference between sales and marketing, importance of understanding who your consumer is. So first thing, so remember, I was not the only chef that was doing it. There were other chefs
right.
initially who nobody remembers, right? Nobody remembers that that's how the show started. So what everyone was doing, all the chefs, all big chefs who came on the show, they were showing off. And I didn't do that.
Yeah.
I understood that show is not, it's not for me. It is for people who are watching, and it should be useful to them.
Correct. Amazing. Fantastic. Yes.
And that's I understood it. And in fact, most chefs used to laugh at me and say, "Kya batata hai? Kaise karta hai isko?" And I used to smile and say that, okay. I never used to feel bad that what are they saying. And because initially I tried to tell them that this is what it is, this is why I do it, but they won't get it. Yeah. Then I stopped, I said, forget it. But now for years, anyone who's on TV today, I can easily say that I would have, chances are that I would have mentored them. Anyone.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, two important things that stand out from what you just shared with me, and for people who are watching and young ones who want to, you know, follow your footsteps, and even the older ones who are already on it and don't know what the success mantra is, it's really two things. Basically, you remind me of Robert Frost's poem, that lovely poem which said, "The road less traveled." And that's what made all the difference. So you were really paving your own road, your own pathways to the destination that you wanted to go to, you know. And I just said you've been into so many things and you made a success out of all those things. And that is what, you know, stood you apart. And second is, you rightly said, I come from the hotel side. You know, I've been a hotelier for a long time. So I very well know what pomposity is all about and what, you know, we will tell you. And if you're from a 5-star sort of, you know, you have the label, then we know much more. We have much more experience. So we'll tell the audience what it is all about. But you were doing it differently. You were getting your finger on the pulse of your audience and, you know, stepping on from there. First looking at their need, what they were expecting, and addressing that. And then, you know, blending your expertise with the consumer demand. And that's what made you so different from the rest of the hoi polloi, really, you know. So fantastic. Two important lessons there, really, Sanjeev. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
I was just, you know, looking at the Google page, you know, Googling you and your books particularly, and it just kept scrolling on and on and on, page after page, Sanjeev. How many food books have you actually written? And what has been the driving force behind conceiving, you know, the new ideas for publishing so many books? What really, you know, how did you go about it?
So first, when I started TV, I didn't realize that books were important. I didn't think that books people would buy, and people used to ask me, "Do you have a cookbook?" I said, "You see my recipes on TV free, so to say. Why would people want to buy my books?" Till I learned, royalty figures of late Tarla Dalalji.
Yes.
Somebody told me, and my mouth thought, really? And I thought that even if I get 1/4 of that, I'll be, even that was so much more than what I was earning in hotels and all of that. So I thought, okay, I'll give it a shot. I'll try it. And then I started seeing recipe books. I started seeing how it is done, what it is. And I realized that all, whatever was available in the market was, there was one thing that was missing was that they were not looking at the user, in the sense that they were still, I wouldn't say hiding information, but it's just that they were not perfect. They were not thinking it through. For example, I give this example all the time, that I saw a book which the recipe was moong dal halwa, and by someone, and it started by saying, take moong dal, soak and grind. Now, is it correct? It's 100% correct.
Right.
Take moong dal, soak and grind.
Right.
But now look at, when you start looking at it analytically with a person who does not know, right? So the person wants to make moong dal halwa and starts to look at moong dal. Okay, I'll try and buy moong dal. Goes to the market and asks the shopkeeper, moong dal de do. कौन सी दूं? धुली हुई दूं, छिलके की दूं या होल दूं? Oh, sorry, ये तो पता ही नहीं था कि क्या दूं, right? So let's assume कि पता था कि मूंग की दाल जो है धुली वाली मूंग की दाल है. कितने लें? Okay, चलो ingredients लिखे हुए, fine, very good. Now, then soak in what?
Yes.
Milk. Water,
yes, brine,
hot water, yes. Cold water. Okay, lovely. Let's assume that also is understood, yes. That milk.
Yes, yes.
But soak in water, you gave me quantity of moong dal, but you didn't tell me how much water. Is it a bucket of water?
Amazing.
Is it?
Amazing. Right? Yes.
Okay, now assume that also is there, that you understood that it has to be soaked in water and it has to be sufficient water that it is there. For how long?
That's right.
Okay, that also
yes.
You assume that they soaked it for right time. Yes. Now they start to grind, and then now, oh, what should I do with the water? Should I take the water out, throw the water out, or should I grind it with water?
That's right.
Now,
That's
in just
right.
one sentence,
absolutely,
right, there are so many things.
Yeah.
Is it for somebody who knows how to make moong dal halwa?
Correct.
That person will know.
Correct.
But no, it is meant for people who don't know.
That's correct.
They want to know.
That's right. That's right.
So my first book, I took about 22 months for less than 100 recipes to write. Very slow process, but it's called Khazana of Indian Recipes. And that book, the sales of that book just went through the roof. I still remember India Today used to have a listing of books.
Yes.
And it stayed at #1. My closest competitor that time was, and they didn't have at that time fiction and non-fiction category. It was just based on the popularity and number of books that you sold. My closest competitor at that time was Arundhati Roy with God of Small Things.
Amazing.
And week after week, it would say, Kapoor tops again. It was so fantastic. That led to many more books and millions of copies.
Absolutely. And so how many books have you done altogether? Do you even know the number?
Oof. I think it's over 150.
Yeah, I read somewhere which has been recorded, on the web, on the web space. Really, you have done about 200 books, Sanjeev.
Could be.
Yeah. You better get a handle on that.
Does not matter. See,
Yes, yes.
it's not about. It's like you ask me how many recipes I have done. It
Correct.
does not matter.
No.
It's like asking me how many breaths I have taken in my life.
Lovely,
It's not. It's
lovely,
immaterial.
lovely. That's beautiful. A very lovely expression, really. So, with so many food books that you have done, what lacuna, what gaps are you still trying to fill? You know, what with all these new titles also coming up now, what are the topical themes that you want to crack and look at and present your take on them?
So I think there are many things which which need a lot of work. Actually, I want to create a legacy book.
Yes,
A legacy book is for home cooks in India.
yes,
That's one book that you need. That's it. And if you have that home cooking, home style Indian food,
yes.
I'm saying it should address that need. A book which has all those recipes, and it's not only recipes. It should also give people a chance to create their own recipes. So let's say if I tell people how to cook moong dal, let's say, okay, and I give them that these are the basics. This is what you do. This is how you do. This is what you do, and I give them one variation to this, and then enable them with enough knowledge that they should be able to create their own variations. It's like when we were learning, when we were studying, there was a book by a French chef, Escoffier.
Yes, that's right. The
Yes,
father of French cooking, yes. Or
correct,
cooking per
correct.
se, absolutely.
Yeah,
That's
that's
right.
right. Yeah.
Yes.
So so there were 6 sauces. They were called
Yes.
mother
The mother
sauces,
sauces. Yes, that's right.
and then there would be derivatives of that, right? So I want to create mother recipes of Indian cooking,
Lovely.
and then enable people to create their own derivatives, because
Fantastic.
each one has to add their touch.
That's right.
I don't want people to say that, oh, I'm cooking Sanjeev Kapoor. No, 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 no. I just want to enable them to cook well and then create their own recipes, what they should be known for, which they should hand over, and also enable people to get that chef in them to come out and experiment more. So,
Fantastic.
yeah, so I think that there's a
Fantastic.
need for that.
Fantastic. Lovely. Lovely. Absolutely fantastic. Sanjeev, you have the unique, distinction of having worked with Chef Rene Redzepi, the celebrated owner of the monumental Noma, arguably the #1 restaurant in the world. What was your experience like? Please tell us about that.
Oh, amazing, amazing guy. Very, very nice chef,
Yes,
of course. His body of work is phenomenal, but as a person, he's a complete family man, great friend, and I cherish the memories of us working together. So it was for a show for CNN that I was
yes.
doing, and we filmed together, and we cooked together, and we created. So it was a jugalbandi kind of a thing that was. The show was called Fusion Journeys.
I see. Lovely.
Yeah, and phenomenal. I've been in touch with him since then, and so he recently, it's about a couple of years ago, he did a pop-up in Australia.
I see.
And I went there, and he said, "What?" I said, "No, I've come to eat your food." I said,
Wonderful.
laughed. Yeah,
Wonderful. Wonderful.
yeah. So he's
Do you still
great.
exchange notes, and have you influenced his cooking a bit or shared, tips about Indian cooking and taken from his culture as well? Do you do
Of
that?
course, see that's bound to happen.
Yes.
That's bound to happen, and we did that. And because what we were doing, that was part of our work. And then one of my colleague or friend, you could call him, his daughter worked with him,
I see.
and so she was a common thread. And she said, we whenever we talk about India, he comes back to you and says, "Oh, my friend's there," and this and that.
Lovely.
So no, he's a great chef. He's a and a great human being. Really, it was so funny. We were. I didn't know him before that, but in I think second or third day, he said, "No, I have to take you around," and he had his. Like you've seen Sholay movie, there is a sidecar.
Sidecar, yes.
So that's a yes. So he has a bicycle with a sidecar.
Oh my God! Okay.
So it's not powered, right?
Yes.
So he showed me around in that. So
lovely. Lovely. That's fantastic. Really, what fun! And really, two friends and two people of the same kind, really, with the same mindset, and two nice people, really, absolutely amazing, really. You also have appeared on American television, Sanjeev, along with the very famous, very popular Rachel Ray. How was your experience around that? In fact, people
very good actually.
Of India.
So actually, Rachel was huge. She's big name, and I remember when I was doing that.
She's followed by Oprah.
Yeah,
she follows her. Yes.
So Rachel, I featured on two different shows with her, and first was a recipe show that I featured with her, and next time when I did, it was an interview based show. So she would get personalities, and by that time that show was so huge. Like the show that I featured, that episode, the other guest was Lopez.
Oh, Jennifer Lopez?
Jennifer Lopez.
No. Amazing.
That was the influence of Rachel Ray.
Oh my God, yes.
And the way Rachel introduced me,
yes.
It was hilarious. See, so they did a comparison.
Yeah.
There's a chef who's done so many shows.
Yes.
So many books, and he has line of products, magazines, whatever.
Correct.
I also have, he also has, I also have, he also has, I also have. And in everything, my numbers were higher.
Oh my God.
And so there is a live audience there. And she said that sad thing is that there is somebody who is so much bigger in all these things.
For your work,
and you may not have heard of him.
Oh,
because see, this was because that's
and Americans, yes, they're very sort of presented. Yes.
Correct. So it was. So when I did a book for an American publisher,
yes.
So they had then read, and they had. So then they actually because they said no, we have to use her. Kind of support to sell this book. I said, okay, alas, and of course she supported, and they actually wrote that, which I said that no, that's not true. Rachel Ray of India, nobody. It's how at that time nobody, Americans did not know Rachel Ray to a common person didn't mean anything.
Yes, yes, that's right.
But was still. So even sometimes when people pick up things from internet, you have the context, you know her, you understand that. But there are events that I go to shows and people introduce me, and he's known as Rachel Ray of India, and people think, what are they saying? Because people pick things up from.
Correct. And if she were to come here and our television, the media people were to draw a comparison, they would call her the Sanjeev Kapoor of America, So that's the parallel, really. It's the frame of reference that you want to be set in,
That's right. That's right.
Go back to it. What was the hilarious introduction she made of you? We'd like to know that.
No. So essentially, she. So by that time, she used to say EVOO.
Okay, EVOO, yes.
So EVOO, everything she would cook, she would start with EVOO.
Yeah.
And that was the time I was endorsing. A brand of olive oil. And so when people, when she said, so in America, people had started to pick up EVOO.
Yeah.
And but people would not even know what she's talking about.
Right.
And they would just, it's like what I would say, namak swad anusar. And as soon as she said, you know what EVOO is? I said, yeah, I have my own brand of EVOO. So what? So it's extra virgin olive oil.
That's correct. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And it was something that she said, do you use the olive oil in India?
Oh my God.
I said, we also have chocolates.
And
I said, we have cars, we have elevators, and she laughed. And she said, oops, sorry.
That's right.
I said, have you've not been to India, so that's your problem. You have to come to India.
You have to bring her now. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
so maybe you have to bring her to India and do something, you know, for the
I know.
Yeah, that would be nice. That would really be nice. Sanjeev, by your own honest admission, you're a workaholic. And you say that sleeping is a hobby because that's what you get to do in the rare free time that you have. What are your other hobbies besides sleeping? Please tell us.
So, see, why I say sleeping is my hobby, because hobby is something that you do when you have free time.
Correct.
So, when I have free time, first I would hit the pillow and sleep. But I would say that I've always enjoyed traveling. I'm an explorer. I love to travel. I love to know new things. So my hobby is actually I'm a curious person, and so my hobby is to know everything about everything. So it's could be any subject. It's not about food.
Yes.
It could be the stars in the sky. It could be cards. It could be laptop, phone, could be bindi. What kind of adhesive do they use? How long would it last? Everything. It's what kind of material is it? Is it? It could anything and everything.
Absolutely.
So that's I would say I spend a lot of time on that.
Fabulous.
If I get time, not too much, because it's some movies, but that's not something that I can say that I would. I don't even remember in last 8 months. People say, "Have you watched this series? Have you watched this?" And I would say, "Oops, sorry, no, I haven't. I don't know what they're talking about." Right.
Right.
So much so that now Scam, which is such a great show, and I want to watch. Yes. And I know Hansal is a good friend.
That's right.
So I'm not sent him a message congratulating him, because he'll ask me to watch it, and I say, "Oops, mata bhi chhod do." Yeah. And also music is something that I enjoy.
Yes. Yes.
I would listen to, but it's not something which I would say that I would start my day with music or switch on music. No, it's not like that. But last 8 months, we've not, though there has been so much time, but we've not been able to spend time on music that much.
Yes.
Though we have actually recorded 2 songs during this lockdown.
You did?
2 songs. Yes.
But I must tell the viewers that you are a passionate percussionist, and in your, there's a space, a dedicated space in your office where you jam together with like-minded friends and create music, right?
Yes.
That's fantastic. Tell us about that hobby as well, Sanjeev.
So my room where I sit, it does not look like a chef's room.
Right.
See, earlier we used to have a little corner where I had kept things for different teas and coffees, a coffee machine and for tea and everything. And but 3-4 years ago we took that out, because people then started to come in big groups because Sanjeev Kapoor is making tea or coffee for them. So then I said, and I would enjoy it. I would, but I said, and it was taking too much time.
Yes.
So I
Yeah.
nikal diya maine usko. But I've always had. I play percussion, so I have a big drum kit that's there. There's a guitar, there's a keyboard, there are mics, there's speakers, there's everything. Yeah, so it's something which I enjoy, and we sometimes friends who are not musicians, professionals, we play, and we have also done a few live shows.
Really?
So we did something, yes, we did something which was, we created a show called Khana or Gana.
Amazing.
So it's a 3-hour show.
Yes, okay.
So where I cook and we weave songs with it.
Lovely.
So we've done a few shows of that, and to large crowds actually. Last one I think we did was in Jaipur, one we did in Ahmedabad. We were to do one in Dubai last, but because of this that got cancelled. Yeah.
And do you call your group? So it's a whole lot of fun. Do you call your group something? Does it go by a certain name? Your Khana and Ghana?
Yes.
What is it called?
Yeah. So it was funny that we when we started, so we realized that we were friends who could do little bit of whatever. I could play the drums. Somebody could sing a little bit, but nobody knew how to play guitar, keyboard. So we just come and jam, and then we made a group on the phone. So we had to give a name for that.
Yes.
And we realized that we were not in tune. So name of the group was called Sur Na Mile.
Oh, how lovely. How lovely.
So Sur Na Mile was the name.
Yes.
As time passed, we realized that we could do a good job.
Correct.
And we called ourselves, we changed the name to Sur Ke Rahi.
Lovely.
So Surna Mile is the Sur Ke Rahi.
Yes, that's right.
As more time passed, we realized that we were getting better.
Okay.
So now we call ourselves Sur Ke Serious Rahi. But I think in last 8 months we have not spent any time for Riyaz. So I think we'll have to go back to Surna Mile now.
We set it out for Sur Ke Rahi to begin, to really to let the time pass, really. And your other hobby is you take it to the other extreme, literally. It's also bungee jumping, and you bungee jumped in the place in New Zealand where it all actually began, right? So how was that experience, flying off, off a cliff and jumping off?
That was crazy. That was so. It was nobody knew what bungee jumping was. So I was working in New Zealand, and I won tickets to visit Queenstown, and I had. So people knew that in Queenstown bungee jumping has started.
Right.
But I said, "Main to nahi karne wala." So the person who had gone with me, he was son of our restaurant owner.
Yes.
And so the owner of the restaurant, he says, "Ki ye aapke saath ja raha hai." He was also an Indian, and he wanted to do bungee jumping. He says, "But you pagal hai, isko mat aap karne. You are sensible, and don't let him do this." I said, "I don't know why he wants to do it. I don't even know what this bungee jumping is." So anyway, he was very excited. And we go there, and he says, "Chalo, we go to do bungee jumping." I said, "Pagal ho gaya. Your dad has also said don't do it." He said, "No, I want to do it. You don't do it." I said, "Okay." So anyway, I accompanied him, and we go there, and there was a big queue, and there was a big queue, and we were watching, and while we were watching it, it was 150 meters. There's a bridge on the river, and there are people who are, and then it's a big crowd, and there is people are clapping, and it's seeing all this. He chickened out. I am not doing it. Now, all these weeks, it was him. I want to do it. What is it? You can't do it. Is it? So I have this problem that if everyone goes this way, I go the other way.
Yes, that's
no,
right.
He's not doing it. I'll say, I'll do it. Say, what? I said, yeah, I'll do it. And I did it. I don't know why I did it. I think I still remember it was $80, which was a lot of money.
That's right. That's right.
And yeah, so it was there. But would I do it
again?
Now? No way. No, no way. No way.
No, fantastic. Yeah, you know, if everybody's going in one direction, you have to go in the other direction, right? So yeah.
That's right. That's right.
The heights by great men reached and kept were not obtained by sudden flight. They, while their companions slept, were toiling upwards in their night. This is the basic mantra that you can define Sanjeev Kapoor's life with. He has been indefatigable. He has been untiring in his zeal, in his passion, in pursuing his dreams. This has been, ladies and gentlemen, one of the most meaningful, enchanting, and inspiring conversations I've had. So many lessons to learn, just effortlessly strewn around by manner of speaking, by way of just conversing over everyday things. That's what Sanjeev Kapoor is for you. Humble, unique, leader in his profession. When you ask him what should the young people do, he says, learn to lead, not follow. Create your own space, a unique space for yourself. Today, he's the most recognizable face on Indian television, and he has held that position for years. Yet, if you look back at how he started, his first 3 episodes that he was shooting for an episode or for a show were rejected. His presence was rejected, yet he kept persevering, he worked hard, he equipped his armor with all the arrows that were needed to sharp shoot, at the targets that he had set for himself. And voila, he was already on his road to success. What a fantastic man, what a fabulous journey. Don't go away, there's going to be a second part to our conversation. There's a lot more to learn, listen, and hear from Sanjeev Kapoor. Do stay tuned for the episode that follows. We will have him back again. Meanwhile, do like, share, and subscribe to the channel of the High Priestess of Hedonism. Your interest, your support is valuable. It's precious for us. Keep us going. Thank you. Bye for now.